Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Crossplay Podcast. My name is Nicky James, here with the homie Chris.
What's up, guys?
And today we got some really good news for you. We got some good topics to talk about. We're going to talk about how we sleep at night, some crazy dreams we have. We're going to talk a little Marvel, a little DC, and we're going to talk about a forgotten game of the week. But first, a bit of housekeeping, guys. If you want to talk to us on Twitter, you can over at Crossplay Pod. Send us your questions. We'll answer them on the podcast like one of our friends did today. We'll get to those questions a little later. Nice.
Thank you.
Chris was touching himself in a pleasurable way to look at. All right. Anyway, stop distracting me. If you guys want to read our blog, you can do so at the new blog address, which is crossplayentertainment.wordpress.com. You can also, thank the Lord. You can also support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month over at patreon.com/crossplayentertainment.
Or as much as $1 million a month. It's up to you.
If you got an extra mil on you, we'd appreciate it. Mm-hmm. We wanted a shiny black table. We talked about that earlier. Or $500,000. We can't afford it. Yeah. But help us out if you feel obliged to, and we want to thank those that already support us. Guys, we're also on Facebook now, Chris. Tell them about that.
Yeah, guys. Well, we've been on Facebook for a while, but now it's another place you can find our videos. We're hosting them there in the video section. There's a whole library. Right now, we have most of the podcasts thrown up, as well as our latest top 10 video. And probably by the time you guys are listening to this, most of the Let's Plays and everything will be there as well. It's just one more place you can find us. So go check us out, facebook.com/crossplayentertainment.
Guys, also, we're doing a giveaway on YouTube when we hit 50 subscribers. We're in the 30s right now, but when we hit 50, we're going to give away a Crossplay prize pack of your choice of 3 months of either Xbox Live or PS Plus and a copy of Battlefield 1 on the Xbox One. So guys, go and subscribe, get yourself some free stuff. Let's get into the podcast. Christopher James.
No. That's not my name. That's your name. Take it.
Christopher Ray.
Take it.
What have you been playing lately?
Oh, Slime Rancher. You don't want to hear me talk more about Slime Rancher. The people are sick of it. But I've been playing Slime Rancher. No, you know what? Honestly, like the last few days, I haven't played a lot of anything. I've been working, raising my children. They've just been crazy the last few days. Like literally, dude, I wake up when they wake up, which is between 7, 8 o'clock, if I'm lucky. And it's literally, I cannot sit down all day until about 8:30 or so at night. And it's just, they've been just worse the past few days. But luckily, school starts in like a week.
Remember when we were kids? Remember when we were kids and Dad would come into our room when school was about to start?
The most wonderful time of the year.
And tick tock. And I would hate it. I don't know.
You get so angry. I would get so mad because like summer was just over so fast when you're a kid, and for us it was the end of August too, right? I think it was the end of August.
Yeah, it was usually like
around that time somewhere.
Summer.
So yes, I'll have one less child roaming the house, which makes a huge difference. Going from 2 kids to 3 kids is.
It's just bliss. That's all you gotta say.
That's all I got. I got just a sigh. That's all I got left in me.
Just a sigh of relief.
But yeah. But the kid that's going back to school made you a pretty sick bracelet there.
Yeah, Tala made me this beautiful. I'm gonna put a picture of it up on the YouTube version of this.
Yes.
Of the Crossplay colors. It's a beautiful bracelet made out of rubber bands. She is craftier than I am. I could never make this. So thank you, Tala. I love you. It's very sweet. I'm going to cherish it. I'm going to wear it every single day. No joke. So until it breaks. And when it breaks, Tala, I hope you're going to make me a new one.
And you know what? I think we'll throw in one of those nifty bracelets there for the giveaway.
Yeah, let's do that, guys. If you're the lucky winner, you're going to get...
You'll see. You're probably looking at it now. It is styling and profile. Yeah. That is a double-banded one, not a single-banded.
It's no joke. It's no joke. So you've been playing Slime Rancher.
Been playing Slime Rancher. That's fun. What about you? What have you been playing lately?
This week I started work again down at the old airport.
Playing a lot less, right?
So I've been playing a lot less. It was my birthday this past week. My awesome, supportive wife, Nikki, got me a new computer for which to run this podcast on. And it's really just multiplied the possibilities for us. Before, if I was doing a top 10 video, from writing the script to editing to uploading to YouTube would take 3 or 4 days, just because the Windows Movie Maker program is so slow on a slow laptop. I did one last night in 4 hours or so.
And if you go back and you look at our very first top 10, as you're watching the video, I believe it's all thumbnail images.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
go to this new top 10 we just released. When you're listening to this, it'll be a few days ago. Top 10 villains of all time. You find it on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. But anyways, you'll see that it's all done with video clips and everything. It looks much nicer, and that is a direct response of having this awesome new computer. Thank you, Nikki. You rock. First item on the news. I need a chair with a back next time, and preferably one like yours. All right, so can you hit up HR and let them know we need a new chair?
Guys, if you want to support us on Patreon, you can do so at the $1 or above level.
Please get me off of this piano bench.
Get Chris a back for his chair. He needs your help, guys.
Microsoft has just announced that they are sort of revamping the achievements. Not necessarily getting away with what they have now as far as gamer scores and things like that, but complementing it with new features. So sounds promising. They're talking, because of all the different play styles we have. You may have someone that just plays through tons of different games, and their gamer score is in the 100,000 or whatever. But then you may also have the guy that spends hours upon hours every day playing Halo 5, and he's like the top 10th guy in the world, and his gamer score is like 2,000. So they're trying to make that balance, letting people know that the guy with the 2,000 gamer score, he should be celebrated too, just like the guy with the 100,000 gamer score.
So wait, what exactly? I heard about this earlier this week,
right?
But what exactly are the changes? Do you know?
He didn't go into details at all. Just that it's going to be features that are going to complement the current gamer score system, and in the sense of different play styles, how people play differently. Some guy may spend all his time playing one game, and therefore he may have a lower gamer score. Doesn't mean he's worse at games, but.
So what they're trying to do is say, if you have a low gamer score, it's not because you suck. It's just because you may be just really dedicated to one game.
Maybe this new system will also maybe it'll take into effect time played. Also, next up, Overwatch Summer Games. We're well into it now. I'm having a lot of fun with Lucio Ball. I did not get to play it last year because I jumped into it a little late. But Lucio Ball, I don't know if you've seen it at all yet.
I know.
It's basically Rocket League with Lucios. That's what you need to know. Basically Rocket League, except you're not using cars, you're using Lucio.
Right.
And the objective is to get the ball into the other goal. And you're on a field. The field's a little smaller than a Rocket League field because obviously the cars are a lot faster. But there is also around the field, there's little ways to like boost, jump, and high into the air, and
so you score points by making a ball into a goal like Rocket League.
Just like
so, it's like rugby then.
Basically, yeah.
Sounds closer to rugby.
Yeah, it's basically just like that. Also, in the recent developer update, Jeff Kaplan announced that Overwatch is finally. Overwatch is one of the most popular shooters since it came out in 2016, yet it does not have a deathmatch mode. No team deathmatch, no every man for himself type mode. But the skies have parted, and Overwatch is getting a deathmatch mode along with a deathmatch mode center type map. So I'm looking forward to that. There's going to be team deathmatch as well as every man for himself style Slayer.
I really need to get Overwatch. I really need to get on the ball with that.
Yeah, man, get with it. One thing we're going to get to, you kind of mentioned it in your intro there, the huge No Man's Sky update.
Yeah, do you mind if I take this one?
Take it away.
Do you actually have notes about what was in the update? I know some of it.
I have notes in my incredibly intelligent head.
That big old dome.
This dome.
So what I know, they overhauled most things in the game. They overhauled a lot of the conversation interface. They added a 30-hour story. They not completely, but they altered the algorithm for which that decides what planets look like and how they behave. They made it so the ship interface is different when you're looking at your dashboard on your ship. There's just so much. It would take seriously.
When you're looking at your dashboard of your ship, you're also I believe you're getting randomized missions now. And along with the 30-hour story mode.
And what I also really commend Hello Games for is they're not making it so you got to restart a game to experience this. So I'm able to experience it in my game that I've already beaten. I put like 60 hours into that game already.
Right. They're saying it gives the game a lot of focus, something it was lacking. And there is a slight, I guess you can call it multiplayer. You are interacting with other players.
Pretty basic, yeah.
However, the other players on your map, you'll basically see them as a ball of light. That's it. Only up to 16 people. Yeah.
That is disappointing.
That's why
I didn't know that.
That's why they're saying it's kind of multiplayer. It's a step in the right direction, but it's a baby step. So don't get too hyped up about the multiplayer. Go and check out the story mode. Check out the new planet algorithms like Nick was talking about. Anything else you wanted to mention about the No Man's Sky update? I know there was...
I did want to say that I played it. I played it for about an hour between last night and this morning. And guys, if you own No Man's Sky, now's the time to go back and give it a shot and see if you like it. And if you haven't played it yet and you happen to live in the UK, it got a price cut down to, I think it was like 24 euros, something like that.
Yeah, so Google the conversion because we don't know.
I think it's somewhere around 30 US dollars. But it's still over $50 in the US.
Right.
But if you have it, give it a shot. It's worth going back. The graphics are significantly better. The algorithms for the planets make them more interesting. The space stations are even more interesting. So it's really worth a shot to go back. I know this game received a lot of bad press at launch, but I'm really happy with where they're at now. So go ahead and give it another shot.
So I'm going to go ahead and gush about my favorite game right now, which is Slime Rancher and developer Monami Park.
Do it up.
They recently did a AMA on Reddit. Did you get to check that out at all?
No, I saw it, and I'm a Reddit fiend, but I missed that one thread.
So it was pretty interesting. A couple of interesting things I took from it. Did you know the inspiration for Slime Rancher?
No, I would assume something like Minecraft or Harvest Moon, but I don't know what they say.
Skyrim.
Really? How so?
So I guess there was a mod. I believe it was Skyrim or Oblivion, one of the two. An Elder Scrolls game. It was a mod where your bow and arrow would shoot out melons, and the guy was saying, the developer was saying that was basically his inspiration. You would go shooting around melons, and the slime or the townspeople would be like falling over melons.
I just want to say I love Skyrim mods. I've been able to mess with them a little bit on PC and console, and they make the game so much more fun. When I can have Macho Man Randy Savage coming down at me like a dragon, I'm in gamer heaven.
Yeah, I love mods too.
Sorry, I interrupted. Go on.
I just hope they become more, widely available.
They will.
Anyways, that was, I thought, kind of funny that a game like this, the inspiration was a mod from Skyrim. They also laid out a roadmap for future updates. So just a few things that we can expect. Right now, the PC has already gotten version 1.01, I believe it is, the navigation update, which adds a really cool, pretty detailed map of Far Ranch.
That was one of my complaints about the game at the beginning. Was there's no map, so it's really easy to get lost, which kind of adds a sense of adventure. I'll give it that.
I did hear that from different people. The update has been submitted to Microsoft for certification, as is usual. That's why updates do take longer to get to console. I'm sure Sony does a similar thing. On their Twitter, they said they were going to let you know when it's ready for the Xbox, which will probably be pretty soon. It adds some new slime toys and a gilded ginger, which is interesting. Looking at some, their roadmap for their updates they got going here, some things are like completely new areas. One's called Ogden's Wild Update, and it adds an area, Ogden's Wild.
Did you give a date for this update? Sorry.
There are no dates. The navigation update for the Xbox One is in certification process with Microsoft, which probably won't be that much longer.
It usually takes 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it's been there for about a week now, so maybe another week we'll get it. And then they have other updates coming that are just adding a bunch of different stuff. My favorite one is they're going to be adding automated droids that you can have harvesting your crops.
Oh, sick.
And
That's
taking
awesome.
them to other places. And so
that's rad.
They're also adding frame rate fixes every update, they say.
And it needs
they are well aware. Yes, the Xbox One version is suffering from frame rate issues. But hopefully with this update we'll get in a week that'll address some of that. I do think it'll be continuing, ongoing. And there you have it, your crossplay news. Take it away, Nicky James.
Moving right along here to Guardians of the Galaxy 2 review. I recently saw it for the first time, finally. I just want to get out my quick thoughts. I loved it. I could not watch the first 5 minutes. I had to keep pausing it because baby Groot was too cute.
Yeah, he'll do that to you.
It was really stressing me out. I had to go for a walk in the backyard, just think about things. When things are too cute, I get weirdly aggressive. I wanted to just punch a pillow.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Baby Groot, I couldn't handle him. But anyway, the movie was just phenomenal from end to end. I have this thing where usually when I see movies for the first time, I always feel like they're too long because my attention span is just usually not there.
Right.
Even movies that are like a simple hour and a half, I'm always, kind of bored. When this movie is just over 2 hours, and by the time it was over, I was bummed. So that's always a really good sign.
That's how I felt during the first one.
Glad I remembered this. This movie really made me realize what the problem is with DC. There's no color. There's no color or joy in any DC movies. They are such a...
Well, it's funny that you say that. Justice League is apparently going through some reshoots to add some color.
Good.
To add some brightness, some life.
Good, because they really need it. That DC films are emotionally draining to watch.
You know what's funny? A movie that was full of some color, but it still felt dark was Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but Suicide Squad was a splash of color in an otherwise dark and barren landscape. Like a lot of Suicide Squad took place at night. The almost the whole second act did. Right. When what's his name, Rick Flag, I think, was leading them down. There's a lot of dark alleyways. They were traveling, so a lot of the second act took place in the dark.
Was that really his name?
I think it's Rick Flag. Yeah. I know it's Flag. I don't know his first name. It might be Dick or Rick or Nick or I don't know.
I like Dick Flag.
Old Dick Flag, DC superhero. So anyway, but then it had a suddenly really colorful scene with Joker and Harley Quinn in the chemical factory, where there's it's just color galore. But that's not enough. The Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was colorful throughout, like to the point where you can tell it was an agenda they had. Yeah. But go on.
No, I felt the same. I loved the film from start to finish. I was laughing my ass off. I thought it was just as funny as the first, if not a little funnier, maybe. Soundtrack was really good.
Yes, soundtrack was killer.
Loved all the tunes that they threw in. And Kurt Russell, I thought did a great job as the baddie of the film.
Yeah, it was a little telegraphed. Like in the very first scene,
when they're driving down the
very, very first time they showed him, I was watching it with Peps, and I said he's the bad guy. And I'm not insightful, so if I was able to figure that out, most people probably did. But it didn't, hinder my enjoyment of the film. You know what led me to thinking that was Jeff Bridges is an Iron Man, and he ended up being the bad guy. And Jeff Bridges and Kurt Russell, to me, are like one and the same. So, and they both had the same big gray hair cut. And so when I saw him, I thought of Jeff Bridges and Iron Man. And I think that's what made me say, oh, he's a bad guy. But anyway.
Bridges makes such a good bad guy. Did you catch the end scenes there?
Like during the credits?
There was quite a few credit scenes. But did you see the one where Groot was... Well, I don't know if we should ruin it for people.
Well, spoiler alert, guys. If you haven't seen the end credits of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, now would be the time to mute your stuff. 5, 4, 3, and 1, and go. Spoils.
So, did you see the scene where Groot's like a teenager?
No, yeah. I don't remember that.
So Star-Lord walks into the his room, and his room's like all overgrown, and he's like sitting on his bed with his little Groot Game Boy.
Cute
he's
Groot.
All like, and Star-Lord walks in, he's like, "Look at this place. You need to get this cleaned up." And he's just like, "I'm Groot." So he's like this just like cute teenager, and yeah, it's really cute.
That's
scene.
Awesome.
Anyways, Crossplay I give it, I think, if we're going, what are we going, 5 or 10 out of 5?
Let's go out of 10.
I'm going to give Guardians of the Galaxy an 8.5 out of 10. What about you?
I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
I really, really liked it, and I'm eager to watch it again. I was having some alcohol at the time. Maybe that helped my enjoyment.
I don't know. I liked it a lot. It was a great film. I don't think alcohol is needed to enjoy this one.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to watching it again, and I'm gonna buy it on Blu-ray, so it's gonna be exciting. I'm stoked.
Well, keeping in with the tone of the Marvel superhero DC pew pew type situations, talk about what they're doing on the TV side. Have you seen any of it?
I'm the wrong guy to talk to about that, to be honest, because I haven't seen a bit of it. I haven't seen any of it.
Well, I've seen quite a few, so you're lucky.
All right, let's hear it.
Start with Marvel. Marvel is about to release in about 5 days from now The Defenders, which is basically their TV side version of the Avengers, but it's The Defenders, and it's going to feature guys like Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Daredevil.
That is such a corny ass name, The Defenders. It has their answers to the Avengers.
And the Avengers isn't corny?
No, the Avengers wasn't corny because it entered my mind first.
Exactly.
So I don't know if they originally call it Defenders before this or not, but that is...
No, it's canon.
But the thing is that sounds stupid.
It's like the Avengers Junior.
That's
Avengers
lame.
Light.
Go on.
So I've seen Nick Cage, or is that what it's called? Luke Cage. I've seen Luke Cage. Loved the show. It was all around a great show. Jessica Jones, another great show. I've seen most of Daredevil. I hear they're also going to have what's the guy from Walking Dead that's now the Punisher? You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Anyways.
Nope. Not
Dude
at all.
from Walking Dead, now playing the Punisher and Daredevil, also going to be in it. Check it out. It looks great. DC also doing some interesting things. Looks like they're trying to do exactly what Marvel's trying to do. Surprised?
No, they've been playing catch up for years.
That's exactly what they're doing on the TV side.
And it comes off as so desperate.
So they're also forming, their type of Super Friends type thing on the DC TV side with Arrow, Green Arrow, Supergirl, The Flash. Who else? I don't know. There's
Jessica Jones.
Yeah, Jessica Jones and Marvel. So anyways, however, of course, DC is not doing a whole team up show. They're doing it in crossover form.
Okay. Which is probably pretty exciting, right?
I think it's much more exciting to get a whole series with all of these people in it, you know what I'm saying? Rather than just a few crossover episodes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty disappointing.
So, again, I feel DC dropping the ball on the TV side of things.
Do you think DC's still going to be a major player in this whole market in 5 years?
You know what? Maybe after Infinity War is over, when Marvel turns the page and Evans is out of the scene and Downey's out of the scene, which is coming, that's coming soon. So we'll see. I don't know what they're doing. It just seems like they have a really lax.
Well, they're on the right track with Wonder Woman. That was a really good step in the right direction. Do we know what's next on their slate?
I believe it's Aquaman.
It's Aquaman? Or the Batman? Or Justice League?
Justice League, which is just so weird. We're going to have the Justice League movie, the team-up movie.
Before we have the origin story movies?
Before we have Aquaman, before we have...
It's okay. We got like 95 origin stories in Suicide Squad. So who can forget how Inferno got mad at his wife and killed his family? So we should feel bad for him.
Right. But, I still find myself watching the DC stuff like Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl. It's still fun to watch. However, it is just... Marvel knows what they're doing.
Getting into one of our newer segments here on Crossplay, we're getting into the Forgotten Game of the Week segment. I have the honors today. The game we're talking about is a 1995 release for the Sega Genesis, highly underappreciated, Vector Man.
And I guessed it last week. At the end of the podcast, check it.
2 weeks ago, you guessed it.
Was it 2 weeks ago?
It was. I forgot to do it the next week.
Fail.
So anyways, yeah, you did guess it. So you get a picture of Gracie as promised on that episode.
I want it.
So let me paint a picture for you here. I'm gonna read some of the Wikipedia page of the plot because I didn't want to write it myself. In 2049, the human population of Earth embarks on a migratory voyage to try to colonize other planets. They leave mechanical Orbots to clean up the mess they made on Earth through littering and pollution. Raster, a high-level Orbot who watches Earth through a planet-wide computer network, is accidentally attached to a working nuclear missile by a lesser Orbot and goes insane, becoming an evil dictator named Warhead. He declares himself the ruler of Earth and begins preparing to execute any humans who dare return to the planet. So that's the preface there. So enter Vector Man, a humble Orbot in charge of like Wally. He's in charge of cleaning up trash by simply shooting it into the sun. So as he lands on Earth after his last trip, he finds chaos and confusion because all the other Orbots are controlled by Warhead. So those are your enemies in the game. Okay. So Vector Man takes it upon himself to destroy the errant orbit and restore peace to Earth. So my memory of this game is playing it on summer vacations. For some reason, our grandmother, Esther, had Sega Genesis. Do you know why?
Yes.
Do you know why or how she had a Sega Genesis?
She had it for us, for all the grandkids, but I think mostly it was our little cousin Mark's. Oh. Because they live there.
Okay, so yeah, so she had a Sega Genesis laying around, and I would stay there on summer vacations mostly every year. And the game I looked forward to playing most all the time that she had that I never had was Vector Man. I would beat that game regularly, like every day when I had to go over there. Yeah. It was so 90s, that game. There was TVs hanging from the hanging from the ceiling that you had to shoot. Yeah. There was everything was made out of steel beams. It was so 90s. The background was a really cool background in the first few levels, at least, of clouds going by you as if you were floating in the sky and going really fast. Right. The music was really ahead of its time, and it had a variety of levels. Most of it was like the side-scrolling platformer, but they had levels that were top-down that kind of looked like Frogger-style levels.
Oh, that's right.
And they even had a level where you were on rails. Vector Man had turned into like a railway cannon, and you were way up in the sky and had a cool view of the earth below you, and you were shooting like planes that were coming at you. So it had a huge variety of levels, and it was really addictive, and it was a really solid game. Like, I wonder, how are we not on Vector Man 10 by now? Like, why didn't that series go on?
One word, Sega.
Yeah, it was developed by Blue Sky. They probably eventually went under. I don't know for sure, but they're definitely not around today, I don't think. And
if someone owns the property, though.
Yeah, I'd love to see a revival, maybe even an indie undertaking of Vector Man. That game still got a lot to offer. It had beautiful backgrounds, beautiful music, solid controls, good bosses. I played it this morning for about a half hour just to kind of refresh myself. If you have an emulator, if you have an old Sega laying around, or any way to play Vector Man, find a way to play it. Give it another shot. If you've never heard of it,
it's a great game,
and you enjoy it, let me know on Twitter at Crossplay Pod what you thought. So, Chris, how do you sleep at night?
What did I do?
You know what you did. No. How do you, like literally, what's your pre-bed routine, and how do you physically sleep, like laying down?
My pre-bed routine is I will put my kids to bed. They run 8:30. Then I will step outside for a cigarette. Check my mail. Check crossplay stuff. Hit you up. Check all the shit you send me. Then I'll go inside and I'll. What do I do after that? Oh, I'll put on something to watch. I'll get in bed with the wife. And want to know what happens after that? No? Well, I'm going to tell you anyways. I fall asleep.
Please,
do you care at all?
Please never try to tell me what happens between you and your wife in bed ever again.
You fall asleep. That's all I said.
What makes you so tired and makes you fall asleep?
You got me in a box here.
Sexual seduction.
And then as far as how I sleep, it really varies. If my kid sleeps through the night, you got to remember I have a 1-year-old. So if he sleeps through the night, then I sleep great. I sleep like a rock. If he's waking up every 10 minutes, then I don't sleep so great. How do you sleep? What's your routine?
Well, we have two very different lifestyles. As you got 3 kids, I have no kids.
That is a difference.
Makes a little bit of a difference. It's gonna make my routine sound so less interesting. Well, I like to go to bed clean, so I take a shower usually before bed, just a quick, rinse off.
I'll just wipe my ass with some wipes and
with some baby wipes.
I'm good.
Wipe down with baby wipes.
Yeah, she appreciates it.
Yeah, I'll usually take a shower and just crawl into bed and look at my phone for 5 minutes and put on The Office. Every night when I've gone to bed for the last 5 years, I've watched The Office. So I kind of
because you love it so much, or it's so boring it puts you to sleep.
It's a little bit of both. I love the show.
You're not helping your case here for me watching it.
It's the greatest sitcom of all time. Move Over Friends.
Over Friends, huh?
And it's got no laugh track. It's got no loud music. It's mostly just conversation, so it's not too
exciting.
Loud.
I just added it to my Netflix list.
The Office has nothing to prove to you. And I just go to sleep. I don't know, but it's not very exciting. But as far as the way I sleep, I'm very particular about the way
I sleep in a strange way.
I sleep very peculiarly. I sleep on my stomach.
Same here.
With my legs in a figure 4.
Me too. Do you hold a pillow?
I can. It's usually a good way to sleep for me. But what I do is I put my right hand under the pillow like this. And then for some reason, I cup my eyeball with my left hand. It's hard if you're not seeing this. And I sleep just like that. And yeah, I snore like a tractor idling.
Oh.
So I sleep like a baby. I don't know about Nikki because she has to hear that all night, but
yeah,
sounds like a whole lot of not my problem.
I sleep with like the covers pulled like all the way up to my eyeballs.
Oh, really?
So, I'm just like this. I usually get so pissed off because within like an hour or so, I'm just like pouring sweat. In my cocoon of love.
I run hot when I sleep.
Oh, I run so hot. But lately I've been sleeping with the fan on me.
I always sleep with the fan on me. I left that out on high gear.
Yeah.
I have it blowing.
I like the hum of the fan. It helps.
Oh, I left out. I got a lot of distractions when I go to sleep. I got The Office going, I got the fan going, and I got my phone playing the rainy sounds, like the rainstorm sounds coming out of my phone.
You should turn off The Office.
I should, but
I say it's not good to have that visual, before you go to bed.
But I don't watch it. I don't know. It's just on. I hear it, and the light of the TV is nice, but
so it's just like a bunch of people having just random work conversations in the rain with no laugh track.
Yeah, and the fan droning. That's what puts me to sleep. When I go camping and it's dead silence, I have such a hard time sleeping.
Really?
Yeah, it's because when we were kids, we used to sleep with the TV on.
I can't just go to bed at a certain time. I have to be dead tired before I hit the pillow.
Really?
Yeah, I can't just lay down if I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, so that's.
So where are you going with this?
That's it. I just wanted to ask how you sleep. But now that we've talked about how you sleep, let's talk about how you dream, baby. Have you ever had any crazy dreams that aren't even recent, just dreams from a long time ago that you remember that stick out to you, that are scary or weird? Or
yeah, I got.
What do you got?
I got a weird one, man. Oh, I don't even know if I should say this.
Do it. Do it.
All right. So this was like a long time ago. This was probably like over 10 years ago. 10, 15 years. I was young. I was like 18, 17 maybe. So I was having like this sexy dream, right? If this was on video, you guys would see me dancing sexily.
He's swaying back and forth. That's weird.
And anyway, so I was having like this. I don't even remember the person that was in my dream, the other female. It was some random person. But I go to like lift her shirt up, right? Yeah. But instead of boobies, there's little dicks
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, little dicks.
Little dicks.
Oh, God.
They're like an inch long.
Oh, stop. That is
Okay, just picture this,
disgusting.
guys. I'm sorry. He made me go here. All right, get this, too. And then, like, I'm pulling pants down. I don't know why I'm continuing.
You
in my dream.
Okay, I thought you meant the story.
No, I don't know why I'm continuing in my dream. You pull a girl's shirt down and she has dick boobs, you stop.
Sometimes you just want some dick nips, you know?
Yeah, so I pulled down the pants, I remember, and she had both situations going on down there.
Ooh, she was hermaphrodite.
Yeah, with dick boobs.
So she had 3 dicks.
3 dicks in one vag. But I remember she had a cute face.
So you had a wet dream about a girl with 3 dicks.
But then here's the thing. I remember thinking...
You heard it here.
I remember being like, oh my God, this is disgusting. But then, okay, this is the bad part.
You're like, I'm not stopping.
But then I remember thinking...
I'm here.
But I just feel so bad for her. I can't, what if I, turn her away in disgust and she goes and offs herself or something, or at least cuts her boob dicks off or something.
Dick nips just get all sad.
So, I kind of felt bad and, I don't know, it was just the strangest dream
that
I've
is
ever had.
not the way I thought you were going to go with this topic. That's hilarious. Wait, how did it end?
I'm feeling her up, but I'm not feeling the man part of her. I'm feeling the vag part of her. We're getting kind of X-rated. If
That's
you're
what
a child,
he wants you to think.
sign off now.
Tala,
She's not going to be listening to this one at all.
earmuffs.
We got to do the shout out for about her damn bracelet on the next one. Yeah, so I all I remember is I start feeling her up because I said I don't want her to feel bad about herself.
Yep.
So I'm like,
loving on her dick nips.
It's okay. No, I didn't touch. I was only touching the female part of her, and that's all I remember. I swear.
And then you woke up.
And then
your sheets were a mess.
No.
Okay.
There were no mess. There was just pure confusion.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well,
cute face.
My crazy dream, I thought of it while you were telling yours.
You can't think of dreams. You have to actually have the dream.
I made up this dream while I was hearing yours. No, this is a dream I had while we were living in, I think, Newbury Park when we were kids.
Yeah.
So I must have been, 4 or something? I was pretty young.
Newbury Park, you were very young. You were maybe 3.
Okay, so that's what makes this even stranger. Is I had a dream where, so the dream was all in black and white, right?
Right.
We were in a school classroom. At the top of the, where the wall met the ceiling, there was a line of windows around the whole room.
Are the kind of windows you have to pull down with the stick?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, I know where you're at.
So this is gonna get dark. So
all right, this is not one for kids, guys.
Yeah, this is weird. So a man comes in wearing a suit minus the blazer, like a white shirt, tie, suspenders, pants. He has this crazed look on his face, he's all disheveled, and he has an axe. And he starts trying to attack the kids in this classroom with me. And we were the kids around me were maybe 8, 9, 10. And all I remember was not seeing him doing anything crazy because I looked away. But I remember looking up and seeing outside of all the windows these angels that were floating outside the windows. And all I remember is the room getting bright white as the guy came up to me. And then him screaming in pain and then waking up from the dream. And so that was when we were living in Newbury Park. I must have been 3.
Wow.
So that's a really, really strange dream to have, and it's stuck with me my whole life because it's really unexplainable.
I attribute it to the fact that our mother started showing us Nightmare on Elm Street when we were about that age.
Okay, I have a question. Did we live in Santa Paula before or after Newbury Park? After, right?
We lived
because that's where we lived during the 1994 earthquake.
Paula before.
You gotta talk a little louder for the mic to hear you.
Sorry, I'm trying to think. I think we lived And I can't remember.
Well, either way, to your point, Mom was letting us watch scary movies, right?
Right.
I remember living in Santa Paula and being, you know how deathly afraid I was of Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I remember her and her friends or whatever watching it on the TV.
Yeah.
And looking while like there was scary scenes happening and being mortified, like absolutely mortified. So you're probably right.
I honestly think that's what it was.
Man, we're making revelations here today.
Fucking help me with my dream.
I'm
scared.
I can't, dude. I'm afraid I'm gonna have dick nip nightmares now.
Well, all right. At least we tried.
Guys, if you have any questions for us, you can contact us on Twitter at Crossplay Pod, just like at XXXSBXXX did. He has 2 questions for us today, Chris. He asks, will Shadow of War's microtransactions flop? I'm going to go ahead and hit that first, because he could mean a few different things.
Flop as in how?
Exactly. Are the transactions themselves going to flop?
As in not sell a lot?
If that's his question, my answer is no, of course not. Microtransactions always make money for the developer.
Always, because they're extra.
Because they have very little overhead. They're very cheap and easy to produce, and they give continued revenue throughout the life of the game. So, of course, the microtransactions aren't going to flop. So how do you feel about that version of his question?
I feel the same. If they sell 100 microtransactions versus if they sell 10 million microtransactions, they've still made money either way. Not considered a flop.
Yeah, and if he's asking, are they going to backfire? Like in terms of, are people going to be turned off to even buying the game because of microtransactions?
That's maybe.
I'd say, yeah, exactly. I'd say maybe, like to a degree, but not to the point where it's going to affect the bottom line significantly.
I really do think that they're going to be careful with how they approach this.
Elaborate on that.
I just think that they're not going to make it so that microtransactions are required to make significant progress in the game, to make normal progress like you would in the first one. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think these are going to be for the people that want to skip ahead. And those people have always existed since we were kids. That's why cheat codes existed back in the day.
Well, it kind of begs the question then, why are we even... If you're putting game mechanics into the game that are so boring that the player wants to skip ahead, why are those even being put in the game in the first place?
I don't know if I would call the mechanics boring, but I would say they cater to different play styles. Some people want to put in that grind. It's part of the experience.
Right.
Some want to skip and get the golden sword.
Right. Okay, well, no, that makes perfect sense.
That's kind of how I view it. And for me, I don't think I would use them because... I think it takes a lot of the fun out of it. And in my opinion, you guys have heard me say this plenty of times in the past. I'm all about getting as much out of the game as I can time-wise. So if I go in and I pay $20 to skip half the game, I'm really cheating myself. So I just don't,
Right. Well, that's a really good question. And
now microtransactions, as far as can I buy new skins, things like that. I like that.
Actually, let's get into that. What the microtransactions cover. I actually have the news story up here from. Where is this? From rockpapershotgun.com. Alice O'Connor lets us know that Shadow of War players, I'm quoting here, will have the option to purchase loot chests containing random items, war chests, and random followers, XP boosts, and more. So developers Monolith are saying that these will be sold for Mirian, which is a regular imaginary in-game currency earned by playing, as well as for gold, a microtransaction currency which is awarded, quote, in small amounts at certain milestones through the game, but can also be bought with real cash money. So it sounds like it's single player stuff, and kind of where I stand on that is if it's single player, I've always been an advocate of options. So if it's not affecting my online game, and if it's not affecting any leaderboards, then I'm not too concerned.
If you're going to have something like microtransactions in a multiplayer setting, then you have to have completely different servers almost for the people that aren't using microtransactions, the people that aren't paying to win.
Right, and a lot of people have this knee-jerk, including me sometimes, have this knee-jerk reaction to microtransactions where it leaves a sour taste in your mouth, just the word, and your natural inclination is to push back against it.
You know where that comes from? It comes from when microtransactions really got started because they pushed them hard, and a lot of games you would notice where microtransactions almost became necessary, especially in mobile devices. Oh my
Right.
God.
Yeah, mobile gaming's a shit show wasteland. We'll get to that another day.
Yeah, but I think when developers first started experimenting with them, it left a bad taste in people's mouths. But I think they're trying to find a balance. If you want to buy something, great. If not, it's not going to affect your, how the game is supposed to be played.
Right. So yeah, it's look. I like Monolith. I want them to earn money,
but they are in there tempting you. This extra stuff that you can buy does not need to be there.
No, but does that mean it shouldn't?
No.
So I think
again, are you against options? Because that's kind of what it comes down to.
Exactly. As long as it's not affecting my multiplayer game. As long as we get options, I don't have anything against Monolith being able to make more money. I'd like their studio. They don't put out a game every year, so it's.
I think a lot of people don't even like the idea that. Well, am I missing something if I don't buy these things? Am I missing part of the game?
That's actually true. That's a very big part of it. I'm sure being the left out portion, the people that aren't buying, they probably feel like they're not getting the full experience.
I think to take that taste out of people's mouth, they should really address that and saying, when they come out, when they talk about these transactions, hopefully if that's where they're going with it, they should really address that.
So moving on to SB's second question. He's talking about the screenshots released by 2K for WWE 2K18. We've seen side-by-side comparisons of last year's Randy Orton compared to this. Have you seen the video, by the way?
Yeah, the comparison video.
Yeah, they compare it to this year's Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins. We've seen a lot of screenshots. We've seen a reworked stage with the new Titantron with the announcer stage up at the top of the ramp like it now is. So he's asking, will the retail version of this game be up to snuff with what we're seeing now, these screenshots? What do you think?
No. You're seeing a still image. Okay. When you add the game actually moving around and you got blur, you have all types of different variables, it's not going to be this crisp image the whole time, I don't think. In the past, the games have never looked as good as...
And a lot of it has to do with your setup, your TV setup.
Yeah, there's really there's really only so much you can do. But from what I understand, they are planning a 4K update for the Xbox One, as well as many other games. So
anything on the PS4 Pro? Are they doing
PS4 Pro as well? I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that. PS4 Pro as well will be getting a 4K update. That will be fun.
It seems like leaving behind last gen has really paid off.
I think so, because developers, I think, were itching to get out of there. Developers saying, "Okay, great, this generation is great, but we're ready to keep going."
Right.
And I got to catch up. I need a 4K TV.
We're kind of like back in 2008, 2007, all over again when the market was pushing really hard for everyone to upgrade to 1080p. We're seeing the new wave of that. I
remember going in to buy a 360. When they were first announced, and asking the guy at EB Games at the time, do I need a flat screen HD TV to run this thing? And the guy was basically said, well, you don't, but you do.
Yeah, you will eventually, at least.
And that's what's going to be the case with a lot of these things. You don't, but you do.
That brings up a cool memory, actually. I'm glad you said that. I remember the day I stepped up to HD 1080p on the Xbox.
Yeah.
I was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 with my clan, the guys I was with, and I found out one of the guys had explained to me what I needed to upgrade, the cables and everything, and found out I had them laying around. And I could have upgraded a long time ago, I just didn't. So the guy explained to me over private chat how to set it up. And I remember doing it and switching over to 1080p, and holy shit.
Mind blown.
It made the world of difference. It's a cool memory to have, actually, that the day you saw gaming in HD for the very first time.
And, if you look at a screenshot of any game in 1080p versus 4K, that wow factor is there again.
Oh yeah. Gaming in 4K is beautiful.
I remember sending you 4K shots of, I think it was Battlefront like a year or so ago, and telling you, dude, look at this. This looks amazing.
Right. And
then I think you and I both agreed, this is years and years and years away.
I still think it's a couple years away in terms of everyone having it. And people aren't. The 4K won't be the norm to where everyone has it. I think for another like 4 years or so, the technology has to get cheaper. But getting back to SB's question about WWE 2K, no, the release version won't match up to retail. They're showing you an ideal cherry-picked screenshot in perfect environment with a running on a console or PC that has perfect settings. So you're getting the best case scenario, and you rarely in-home get the best case scenario.
But you will get a better looking game than last year.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
it's going to be noticeable. The audience looks much better. The floor, like small details, are completely reworked. They reworked every art asset on the belts. They completely reworked art assets from the ground up on people like Randy Orton, people that have been in the game since 2K13, that they've kind of been slacking on. Yeah, they've been recycling a bit or just doing minor upgrades. They've reworked from the ground up. They said they paid a lot more attention to the female superstars. They've added a free roaming backstage area. They've added new match types. They've added create a match. They've completely overhauled universe mode.
They're also saying the most superstars ever in a WWE game.
Every year, man. That's crazy. That's great, though. I love it.
And I actually read that in the pre-order section on the Xbox store for that game. I didn't know that.
What, did you pre-order it?
No, I was just reading the description.
So, SB, hope we answered your questions. Guys, if you have questions for us on Twitter, you can contact us at Crossplay Pod. Send your questions in throughout the week about anything nerd culture related, and we will get to them on the podcast that comes out every
hang on.
Tuesday.
Don't close her down yet.
I'm not closing her down. Just yet. What do you got?
I got something for you over here.
What is it? He's pulling out a backpack. He's unzipping it slowly. He's reaching in. He brought my Xbox.
It's not yours.
Okay, I was gonna say it's got a lot of writing on it.
It may look different.
Okay.
I still got your other one at Barry's house, but
wait, what's going on here?
This is our brother's.
Oh, Sean's Xbox.
So Nick and I had a brother named Sean, and he actually passed away this year. And I also given you his controller that he modded out himself.
Oh, radical! That looks awesome.
It has I don't know. Yeah,
it's a 360 controller with a really cool red and black sort of design on it. That's really cool.
So I thought you might like that. One cool thing is he has a bunch of games saved on here with like halfway completed. So
oh man, if you ever just I'm gonna finish some of Sean's journeys for sure.
So finish up some of those journeys, and I will be sure to get you your actual Xbox soon.
Well, thanks. I hope
this makes up for now.
That means a lot, and as it was Sean's, I'll cherish it. I'm gonna finish some journeys on this bad boy for sure. But thank you very much for that, guys. If you like what you're seeing today, you can support us over on Patreon at the $1 or above level per month at patreon.com/crossplayentertainment. We want to let you know about a couple of exciting things we got coming up here.
Oh yeah,
you guys know a really hot topic here on Crossplay is a hot dog a sandwich.
We did that in episode 2.
But we barely touched on it. If you go back to episode 2, it's towards the end of the episode. We touched on it, but we didn't really get into it as much as I want to. There's been a lot of arguments around the house about it. We've gotten into it. I contacted the National Sausage and Hot Dog Council on Twitter. They want to come on and possibly talk to me for a bit.
They have a position, so we want them.
They have a position, here. So we're gonna let them say their heretic position, and we will.
We're not saying if it's heretic or not. They have a position.
We're gonna get them on. We're gonna have a friendly talk with them. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna learn a little bit about their cause. We're gonna have a little bit of a debate. It's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna cut a promo, Macho Man style, maybe. It's gonna be a good time. So we're gonna have them on the podcast soon. Also, we're gonna have a very special guest, Daniel Luca, one of my best friends and a developer over at Ubisoft Toronto. He's going to talk to us a bit about his life as a developer, how he got to where he's at, and he's going to talk to us about some of the hot button issues in gaming from a developer's point of view. It's going to be really good, guys. We're hoping to get that up in the next couple of weeks. Do you have anything else to add?
Also look forward to, guys, we are starting to dabble in video. We're looking to the future of getting this show recorded so you guys can watch us do the show, because it's just much funnier that way. We don't know when, but just know we're working on it. We'll get there.
If I were to give a loose time frame, I would say in the next month I would like to start putting videos up, and that's giving myself some time, a cushion, so maybe even sooner.
Just so you know, some of the things we're working on.
We're putting all of our podcasts now onto Facebook, so be sure to go to our Facebook profile page, Crossplay Entertainment. Go to the video section, and if that's how you prefer to watch videos, you can do so there. One last bit of information. If you have any questions for us, send them in. We're going to try to do a Q&A every week now. Chris has the Forgotten Game of the Week duties next week. That's it, guys. I think we're about done.
Oh, I got a good one.
He's already got one in the pocket. Great. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here on episode 6 of the Crossplay Podcast. I have been Nikki James.
I'm Chris.
We will see you for episode 7 next Tuesday. Play the outro.
Later.